My name is James Williams Jr., and unless something completely blows my mind by 11 o'clock tonight, this should be my last video for tonight. And it is about Ponzi schemes. And I'm going to tell you guys the biggest Ponzi scheme of all, plus the second biggest Ponzi scheme of all. Alright, well, the second biggest Ponzi scheme of all, I got to take this because I love her. The second biggest Ponzi scheme of all are these things right here. These things are cell phone games. And they dick us off on a daily basis. Or if I may quote Negan, the baddest guy on TV right now, these things stick their dicks down our throat and we thank them for it. I shouldn't have to pay a cell phone game $2 to get $60 so that I can buy something because it looks so fucking cool that it would be great on my cell phone. Especially if I'm going to wind up replacing my cell phone and losing all of the damn data to begin with, which totally fucking sucks. You know, cell phones are great if you're into technology. I'm not that into technology, but cell phones have become the necessary thing. You know, and you can do anything with them, just about. Probably can crack the Da Vinci Code with this thing. I can't crack Da Vinci's Code, nor do I want to. Like this, I gotta pay $12 for one hammer. I have to pay 12 separate dollars for a pack of nails. I have to pay $12 for a damn carton of paint to increase my storage to 70. And it's a fun game and all, but for somebody like me who doesn't make that much money, I can't spare it on this game to waste money that I don't have just because I want to play this game for a little bit. You know, again, Ponzi scheme, of course it is, but some of us can't be convinced, and most of us jump on this thing and get to playing it and thinking, "Wow, you know, I'm gonna enjoy this," which we generally do. We generally enjoy these things very much, but then when you want to do something and you have to like hit that button, and you're like, "Well, I don't have $10 to get $40 or $50 for this damn game. That's my lunch money." You know what I mean? Ponzi scheme. I think so. Now, I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to give you the world's greatest Ponzi scheme ever. And I'm mad as hell because I support this shit. And you guys probably support this shit too. Are you ready? Are you set? Here we go. The greatest Ponzi scheme ever. The PlayStation and the Xbox. I know what you're thinking. James, how could you do that? How could you say such horrible things? I'm going to tell you how I can say such horrible things, and you ring in and let me know if you think that I'm telling you the truth or a fabricated lie. Which, by golly, it will be the truth after you think about it and compare this shit. And think about it, Google it, compare it, and then write me my bad insults that you're going to give me. So, when PlayStation first came out, it came out on the cusp of the Super Nintendo. Not the purple box, but the one before that, the gray box, where you had the square games, where you could save the games, and the game would actually save, and no memory card required. Ponzi scheme right now. So as you know, when you had the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, and they were the only two game systems available at the time, those games you could cut off, and the game would save, and you could come back and pick up right where you left off. No matter what game you were playing, the game would save, and you could save it, and you could go about your day, and then all of a sudden, this horrible ass storm came out of nowhere, and everybody got PlayStation fever. So we all went and got PlayStations. I didn't get a PlayStation. My brother got the PlayStation because he was younger, and my mom and his dad catered to everything that they need. And I was poor, so I couldn't afford a PlayStation because I had a car and I had to pay for my car, which was I could play PlayStation and I could walk to work, or I could pay for my car and I could drive to work. Okay, so I chose to drive to work. So my brother first got the PlayStation. The first game he got was Lara Croft's Tomb Raider. And we played the holy fucking shit out of that. My cousin, my brother, and I at my uncle's house. We played this motherfucking game, and we played this thing like almost for 3 days straight. And we never really cut the TV off because we I'm sorry. Sorry. She's very important. Anyway, as I was saying, so we played the game for 3 days straight. And we never really left the house unless something important happened. So this is how this becomes the biggest Ponzi scheme, and I'm gonna tell you why. And this probably hasn't happened to you guys who are rich and came with money, but my brother, I don't remember how old he was when we got the PlayStation, and my uncle was living on Castella Street, so we take turns trying to get off these boards, and this is before he got Final Fantasy VII. And it's a good thing that this happened before we got Final Fantasy VII, because that came with 3 discs, and this would have really fucked up our day. So we're playing the PlayStation, and all of a sudden, we learn about memory cards. Now, we didn't learn about the memory card the whole 3 days while we were playing, but we got really, really far in Tomb Raider, and we didn't want to cut the game off. So, my brother got some money from my mother, and instead of my mom just taking him to go to the store and get the damn thing, I had to do it. So we told my uncle, who was upstairs sleeping, when he got up, don't cut off the TV and don't cut off the PlayStation because we're stuck on this board and we want to save it because we've almost beaten the game. So we leave to go to the store. My cousin, my brother, and myself, because I'm the only one with the driver's license. So we drive off, and I want to say we went to Toys R Us. I'm not sure which store we went to, but I know that Best Buy didn't exist here at the time. And we didn't go to Radio Shack, which we probably should have went to Radio Shack because it was much closer than the store we went to. Anyway, when we came back, my uncle had turned out the PlayStation. And he thought that the game had saved itself like it did on the Super Nintendo because he used to play Super Nintendo with us. Well, you want to hear 3 pissed off young black kids going the fuck off. Oh, we gave him an earful and we were pissed. And he said, well, he didn't know. He said, that's why we went to buy his memory card. So then we had to start all the fuck over again. And it took us another 2 days to get back to where we were. And then we got stuck on that damn board. And by the time we got off the board, Christmas break was about to be over. So we got that solved. And that's why I said it was a Ponzi scheme. Now, let me go deeper into it. A couple of years after that, they come out with the PlayStation 2. You have to get bigger and more expensive memory cards, but you get like the 2-for-1 packs, and they claim that the PlayStation 2 can play the PlayStation 1 games, and everybody's making such a big freaking deal, and we're all buying into this fucking shit, and everybody's going PlayStation crazy, and the Xbox comes out. Now the difference with the Xbox is that you actually could save some of your games on the Xbox, and you didn't have to go out and buy memory cards, but you did have to go out and buy those stick things, I think, to transfer or whatever. I didn't have an Xbox, but this is what I was told from people who had Xboxes. But they had basically that problem with memory was solved with the Xbox, but it wasn't solved with the PlayStation. So that the PlayStation 2 had, just like the PS1, 2 versions of the PlayStation 2. And I have both versions of them, but you still needed a motherfucking memory card. And the memory cards, when you get the first PlayStation, memory cards didn't hold that much, so you had to buy like 5 or 6 of these motherfuckers. Ponzi scheme? I think so. So then, finally, the PlayStation 3 came out, and you didn't have to buy memory cards anymore. But as I flash all the way back to the first PlayStation. Unless you were lucky, most PlayStations only came with one controller and you had to buy the other one. And then they came out with the cordless controllers. So now you have your regular controller that suffers from I'm gonna yoke the shit out of you syndrome to cordless controllers which still suck. I'm gonna yoke the shit out of you syndrome. You can't say if you have a PlayStation or Xbox that you haven't done one of these numbers, like it's actually going to help you in the game, which most of the time it never really helps you. We were just a bunch of dumbasses believing that that shit helped us. So, we're jerking the controls, thinking that we're actually doing something, and we're only making the situation worse. So, when you're thinking about it, oh yeah, this is like the biggest Ponzi scheme ever. So then the PlayStation 4 comes out. And now they're going to have a PlayStation 4 Pro. So you're like, okay, why couldn't you use this technology way back then instead of making more PlayStations? You could have just like increased the ability to save memory. And you guys think that I was stupid, but yes, this shit was a Ponzi scheme. Do I support the Ponzi scheme? Motherfucking right, because I have a PlayStation 1. Well, I have a PlayStation 2. I have two of them. I actually might have three of them. And I have a PlayStation 3. And I'm working on getting a PlayStation 4, but I don't have any money, so I have to save up because Andromeda's coming and I want to get into that game. So, the whole thing is that PlayStation was was um was the shit, and it was a Ponzi scheme. It was a great Ponzi scheme, and it worked out in the Sony PlayStation's favor. It really did because everybody got them and everybody's still getting them. So it was a pretty good Ponzi scheme. It worked out pretty good, and it's the same thing with all these cell phones and all these other technology things because if you got one cell phone, everybody had a flip phone, and everybody except for me, when pagers first came out, everybody had a pager and everybody had a cell phone, and now everybody's got these up to date smartphones where you got no buttons, but they're touchscreen, you know, and everybody except for me, everybody except for me, everyone except for me, I was still stuck on a clamshell when the sliders came out. Then I got a slider because my brother gave me his slider when he got the brand new HTC or the Helix or Helix or whatever the Helio or Halo, whatever phone that was. It started with an H, came out, and then they kind of was a passing fad and went away. They had the commercial with the shark only H if you didn't have a certain cell phone and all kinds of other comedic things. And basically, all these technology things have been a Ponzi scheme, and we have unwittingly fallen into the technological trap, and we still do. Will I upgrade to the Galaxy 6 or 7 if Walmart Straight Talk provides that? The answer is hell no, because the Galaxy 5 was like almost $400 fucking. In fact, it was $400 because they get you on the phone. Yeah, I pay $47 a month for my phone bill, and that's awesome. I get unlimited internet, unlimited talking, and unlimited texting, and I can get my calls anywhere in the world basically because they use Verizon towers. The catch is that they fuck you 7 ways from Sunday if you want to keep up with the Joneses and buy the newest phone that came out. Now I had to get the Galaxy 5 because the simple fact that my Galaxy 3 was broken, my warranty was out, and I was gonna be damned if I was gonna be without a phone. So I paid for this and got a warranty on this thing, and so far I haven't had to use it. But I sent everything in, and hopefully everything will work itself out. But the whole thing, you sit here and you pay for all these phones, and then phones are only gonna last so long. Now, granted, there was nothing wrong with the clamshell. There was nothing wrong with the slider. Hell, the sliders were way cooler than these touchscreen things to a certain degree. But after everyone else started picking up and I started having a little bit more money in my pocket, I decided to indulge just a little bit. But have I gone toward the Galaxy 7? I honestly thought about getting the Galaxy 5 Note because it's a little bit bigger than this thing. And I'm still thinking about it. I'm not sure if I want to do that yet, but I'm still considering it, that kind of thing. But for now, the Galaxy 5 is fine. But I don't want a phone that does not have a memory card that forces me to have to pay for this cloud service because it's not free. So I have to pay for that. I don't have time for that shit. I can barely afford the phone payment that I'm on now. That's why I have that plan, because it's been the cheapest phone plan. And there have been offers on TV. They have people who pay $35 a month. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's the catch? Because these guys, I have it set up pretty good, you know, and despite the customer services and the people who have cussed me out a couple of times because their Indian accent is too thick, but despite that, the phone has been good to me. The phone company has basically been good to me, and I don't have to keep traveling all the way down to Walmart to get a card because of how I have this thing set up. And then the other companies are basically the same thing, except for, $35 a month. It's pretty steep. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, okay, that's cool, but what's the catch? So, I'm going to end this video and say that we have all fallen for the PlayStation, Xbox Ponzi scheme, but none of us remember that the Super Nintendo, the square one, that had the purple buttons, and you could play 4 people at a time. We didn't think about that because those games, Metroid, Double Dragon, all those games that we played, actually can be saved on the game. Where when we went PlayStation crazy. And we bought all this stuff. And then they came up with the 3 and the 4 in the 2013, 14, 15 era. Where now you can just save the game and damn near have unlimited gigabytes or megabytes or terabytes or whatever the hell it is. And now they do that. Ponzi scheme. Think it over. You might hate me for it, but we all support that Ponzi scheme because everybody's going to go out and get that PlayStation Pro or that Xbox S. Except for me, because I'm never going to convert to the Xbox if I can help it. Unless Xbox wants to pay me money to be their spokesperson. Then I will convert to Xbox because there's a check involved. But I'll still have my PlayStation. I'm James Williams. This is Come Family number 2. This is 18 minutes of your life that you can't get back. Be seeing ya.